Okay, I have two YouTube channels. My where I was dropping intel. I have two of them where I was dropping intel. My original YouTube channel back from 2020, 2021, 2022, back when all the stuff was happening from January 6th and after the election and after Biden came into office. I had a channel, Red Dawn, on YouTube where I was doing intel drops about all the different things going on, and they locked me out of that channel. They won't let me get in, and I knew the password. And then I even tried to reset it, and they locked me out of that channel. See, the thing is, people that really speak the truth about what's going on and bring the facts, their channels always get blocked or they try to delete the channels in most circumstances. And you will have some channels that are successful where they don't block the channel. And that's usually because those people talk in a different type of code to make sure their channel doesn't get shot down. But I have a second channel. My first channel was Red Dawn. My second channel is Nesara, Nesara. And that has to do with Nezera and Jezera. Just Nasera, that's how really it's supposed to be pronounced. Just like my name, Sarah. Nasera. Nesera. But a lot of people say Nezera. But anyhow, I'm trying to get my other channel kicked off to do the intel drops, to do the geopolitical intel drops. And I'm also going to be discussing topics like MK Ultra and gang stalking. And I know a lot about MK Ultra because my mother was actually a handler. She was a handler, and she had connections to Rockefeller and the CIA and different things, even though people in my family will say that, oh, what is Sarah talking about? But they don't know the truth. My mom admitted to it years ago, and my father even told me about my mom and how the different things she was involved with, the mafia and the deep state and different things that she was involved with. My dad had told me long ago when they both were still together, and it was like the early 2000s before they had separated. So a lot of people in my own family, they just think I'm crazy, and they think like I make this stuff up or I'm just some nutcase because my mom forced me to go into the hospital as a teenager, and she allowed the government to try to put me under MK Ultra torture and different things. I was raped in the hospital before in a psychiatric ward when I was 15. I was 15 years old, turning 16. I'm an expert when it comes to MK Ultra, and I've touched on that topic many times, and I have videos on here about that were deleted because Facebook deleted most of my intel drops, if not all of them. They went and automatically deleted all of my lives. So anyhow, I'm trying to get my other channel, Nasera. I'm trying to get that channel up and running and start doing intel drops again about some of these things that are happening. I had took a break from doing the intel drops because I have other things I'm focusing on, so I had to take a break. And most of the time, people just think I'm crazy and they don't understand it. So that kind of made me a little discouraged. So that is why I had stopped doing my intel drops. But now I'm having massive downloads of things, and I have to explain them. So I'm doing this intel drop here on live on Facebook because YouTube is not letting me do it yet because they have my account on a 24-hour hold. They have my account on a 24-hour hold, so I can't do my live on YouTube. But I want to do this intel drop now on YouTube, and then I can always go back and put it. I want to do this intel drop now on Facebook, and then I can always go back and put it on my YouTube because I feel it's urgent. I get this information out now because a lot of people don't even understand what's going on. They don't understand what's going on. Even there's a lot of conservatives, the real Republican conservatives that don't understand even what's going on. Now the rhinos are very corrupt. The Republican Party, it's not just the Democrats, it's the Republicans too. Most of them are corrupt. I would say half is affiliated with Zionist Israel, and they groom and they have pedophile tendencies. It's not just the Democrats, okay? A lot of people are fooled thinking that the right is more righteous and they're such good Christians, some of them, how they portray themselves, but a lot of them are Zionists and they're deep state. Okay, so like the Republicans are really not that much better from the Democrats, speaking overall. But of course, if I'm taking sides, I'm going to side with the conservatives, the ones that have values and more morals, because the Democrat Party most of the Democrats lack morals, and a lot of them are very corrupt, and most of them are affiliated with criminal activity. Not all of them, not all Democrats, but you see those people, the paid protesters, a lot of those paid protesters that are out there, they also have connections to the drug cartel and gangs. So they really think that they can win the Civil War, and they really want a Civil War. And they want the EU. They want the not the EU. They want the UN. The goal is to try to have the UN. Pardon me. The goal is to try to have the UN military come in, but the UN military has been infiltrated by real patriots. And even if the UN military were to come in America, if the Civil War goes full blown kinetic, they would lose. The leftists will lose. See, the problem with most leftists and Marxists is, the problem with most leftists and Marxists is that they're very brainwashed. A lot of them have done so much drugs, and they have so much sexual depravity. They're sexual deviants, a lot of them. They have done so many drugs that their brains are fried, and they're delusional. And they think that they could kick off the Civil War and win. They really are on a payroll. They're on a payroll, and they get paid to do a lot of things that they're doing. It's not because, like, some people that make videos about what's going on, they just say, oh, they're useful idiots or they're just stupid. It's way deeper than that. Like, they're literally, like, their frequency that they're on is demonic, and they're delusional, and they think they can have a full-blown civil war, and they're not going to stop. All the protesting and all that bullshit, the ones that are out there getting paid to do it are delusional, and they really think that they're going to be able to achieve their goals. And not only are they demon possessed, but they're so stupid. You can't go to, just say a bunch of Americans want to just go to China and go through the border and move to China, no matter what color they are. Even if it was all white American people trying to go through China's border, or Russia, or Venezuela, or Brazil, or Jamaica, wherever. No other country is just going to let a whole bunch of people through their border and come in there and be illegal and undocumented and create chaos. And some of these Americans, liberals that are protesting or saying, oh, no, every human, no human is illegal. They're like stupid. They're stupid, and they're demonic possessed. And a lot of them really feel that way. But they know they can't just go to another country. Like, if I want to go to Nigeria, I can't just go over to Nigeria and go live there without being documented and going through the proper process. And deep down inside, they know that. They know that. No other country is going to allow people from outside countries take over their country. So President Trump, as far as President Trump and the border situation and the illegals, the ones that are here undocumented, that cross the border, they know, because they know people can't go to their country and do that shit. So the liberals are just very delusional. They're demonic. Some of them are getting paid, and they really want a full-blown civil war. And a lot of conservatives just say, oh, well, they're just stupid. It's deeper than that, because deep down inside, a lot of them know the truth. but they're just going to keep trying to be propagandists and be trying to create more chaos. They just want to create chaos. And a lot of them are tied to the Freemason organizations. A lot of them are. Now, not all Masons are bad. Not all Freemasons are bad, but there are a bunch of them that are very evil, and they're connected to the drug cartel and to pedophilia stuff. And it doesn't matter whether they're Republican or Democrat, because there's just as many Republican pedophiles as there are Democrat. Okay? And they're connected to some of these drug cartels and people from other countries, where it trickles down even to like the Bloods and the Crips. Sometimes the Bloods and the Crips have done business with Trendiagua, TDA, they'll pronounce it. They have done little transactions with them on occasion. So it's like it's all connected. The people that are protesting, a lot of them are affiliated with the deep state drug cartel. And they're drug addicts, and they want to keep living their lifestyle the way they live it. They don't want law and order in this country. And the ICE agents, they're not going around to get American people. Different people have already made videos about that, and that's true. The ICE agents are just doing their job. They don't want to kill people. Okay, sure, there might be a couple of ICE agents that are like gung-ho and ready to kill if they have to, but it's only if they absolutely have to. If somebody's trying to harm them, like that lady in the car. Like that lady Renee, like she literally was trying to run over that agent, and that agent, that was self-defense. But that's enough about that. But I am going to be talking about MK Ultra and gang stalking too, and how that has a lot to do with what's going on right now, because there are certain people that are getting paid to gang stalk other people to create even more confusion and chaos. I want to touch on Russia and Putin and EU and the NATO. Okay, EU and the NATO has been being dismantled for a long time now. I would probably say the last maybe like 7 years. EU and NATO is slowly being dismantled, and that ties into some of the things with the UN. Now, NATO thinks they're going to pull an Article 5. They might try to pull an Article 5, but that's not going to work. Now, Russia, as far as Putin, mashallah, Russia, my man Putin, I love Putin, and I don't care who says I'm crazy. I love him. And he is a good politician, even though there's been things that have happened that people don't agree with. He actually wants the best for the world. He actually does. And out of all the politicians and world leaders, Putin is one of the most empathetic, and deep down, he just wants what's best for the whole entire world. But many people say, oh, well, he's evil too. But he's not. And the reason why he had to get the Israelis, he's going to be having Israelis leave his country, is because many of them are Khazarian mafia, and they're affiliated with the IDF, and they're corrupt, and they were planning to try to start riots and chaos in his country because they're deep state Israelis, most of them. Not all of them. Not all of them. There are some good Israelis that live in Russia, of course. But Putin can't take any chances with it, because there is a vast, big majority of Israelis that are in Russia, that are deep state, that are going to try to cause his country chaos. They want to try to start protesting there and causing a bunch of problems. And some of them are Mossad agents, and they're deep state. And Putin has to do that. He has to send them out of his country. And it's actually better for them that they go back home to their country or somewhere else, because the escalation with Netanyahu, this thing with Netanyahu, like he is a full-blown narcissistic demon, okay? Netanyahu is so demonic that he would use a nuclear weapon. And he's the only politician that would be so quick and ready to try to use a nuclear weapon on Russia. And Putin already knows this, And a lot of the talk about nuclear weapons, even if even if a world leader were to detonate a nuclear weapon, there are extraterrestrial beings that can intervene and prevent the nuclear bomb from blowing up. They can intervene. A lot of people say, oh, extraterrestrials, that's demonic and satanic, and that's what are you talking about? They think it's crazy, but there are extraterrestrials. There are good extraterrestrials here on this planet and in different areas above and below that would not allow a nuclear weapon to detonate if just say Netanyahu were to finally try to nuke Russia or nuke Iran. And I'm not talking about little missiles. I'm talking about a major nuclear war. There are extraterrestrial beings that would intervene, and they would not allow that to happen. Now, once the thing with Russia that people don't get is that there are agreements between Moors. Okay, you have real Moors and Muslims, and Russia has an agreement to protect Muslims. Okay, but the good Muslims, not the bad Muslims that are terrorists. Turkey and Russia have an alliance over this. And many American conservative Republicans, they don't understand geopolitical. They don't understand it. And there's many Republicans that hate Muslims. Like, they really hate Muslims so much. Even the good Muslims that don't bother anyone, they discriminate against. And it's time for those people to realize that there are a good group of Muslims here that if the Civil War were to go completely full-blown kinetic, those good Muslims that are here, that are not from the deep state, they're going to side with American patriots. I've touched on this topic before. So all of you Republicans who keep wanting to ban Islam and you hate all Muslims, you're actually wrong for that. Because some of the Muslims are here, and some of them that are the good ones that are here, they have heavy arms and artillery and weapons. And they would, if the Civil War goes full-blown kinetic, they would fight on behalf of the conservative Republican side to help so the leftists and the Marxists cannot take over. So it just blows my mind how there's so many Republican conservatives that hate Muslims so much, and they don't understand really what's going on in this country. But anyhow, I took my little notes here. I think that's it for now. I really want to get my YouTube channel running, but I have to wait just 24 hours. So I'm going to add more to this on YouTube and do another Intel drop once I get more downloads coming to me through how I get my downloads. Yeah, DARPA like studying me because I am clairvoyant. And no, I can't predict the lottery tickets. I'm not that kind of psychic, but I have clairvoyant abilities, and the government keeps a watch on me. That's why they gang stalk me. And yeah, and Putin knows that the government here targets me and tries to gang stalk me, and it's not right. It's not right. I'm not a terrorist, and I've been affiliated with Muslims over the years, so I'm on their little government watch list, but it's just all really stupid. And I have people that protect me, and I do have people that move for me if I need help. Just like I was talking about in regards of seeing my son and other things that are going on in my personal life. And that has to do with the gang stalking thing, how the government and different organizations, they try to analyze me. They want to know what I'm doing and where I'm going. And sometimes they send agents to like follow me to see what I'm up to, because I've been affiliated with some heavy hitters over the years, but I am not a terrorist. but they still have me on their watch list. I've been on the government watch list and the FBI watch list since the 90s and the 80s when I started hanging around 5%ers and when I used to live with Dr. York when I was younger and I was searching to find myself in life, and I had ran off from my hometown and went to live with Dr. York. And because I lived with Dr. York, I've always been on a watch list. And prior to that, even because my son's father was affiliated with the California cartel, and he was a bad man, and he was affiliated with the deep state drug cartel. And I ended up on a watch list because being associated with him at that time, when I was young, I was naive and I wasn't really aware of how much heavy shit that he was into. And when I was young, I had a thing for the bad boys, kind of like thinking I could change them with my love and help them. And they would convert over to a better lifestyle. And it's always the cute guys. It was when I was younger, it was always the handsome, cute guys that were the bad boys. And I was always attracted to very handsome, clean cut guys. And they usually turned out to be the bad boys in many cases. But anyhow, that's enough for this intel drop. And I haven't done one in a long time. So I might have sounded like I was jumping around from topic to topic, but I did the best I could to break down different things that are going on. And I also know way, way more than I say. The thing with Erica Kirk and Turning Point, that organization is corrupt. The organization is corrupt. Charlie Kirk, rest his soul, was a decent guy, but that organization overall is corrupt. And they have one of their little agents here staying at the hotel where I'm at, because this hotel converted to studios. It's supposed to be like apartments. They have one of their agents here. I'm already aware of who it is because they didn't like when I said different things. I was the first one to say something about Erica Kirk. I was the first one to say something. I was one of the first ones to say she was corrupt. Right, instantly the next day. But everybody at first was like, oh, Erica Kirk, the grieving widow. Oh, bullshit. But anyhow, I know way more than I say. But that's it for now, guys. I'll be back another time with more intel. Thank you and God bless. Where we go one, we go all. Fuck around and find out.